Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be diving down into the charts, taking a look at what is going on with Cardano. We have seen some interesting price action for ADA, and I do think there's potential for a little bit more downside yet still to come. So in this video, we're going to dive down into the charts, really analyze what is going on and give you my kind of thoughts and opinions on where I think things are likely to go next. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then make sure you do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you will be kept up to date with all the videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop and take a look at what is going on here with Cardano. Okay guys, so we're going to really take a look at this. It was yesterday's video. We were talking about a couple of very specific price points, and you know, we actually have had that pullback with Bitcoin, taken us down a little bit lower, and this actually is an impulsive move, and I want to go through what's going on there and what I think is likely to happen next. So first of all, I'm just going to quickly remove this, and we're going to really just analyze it from over here on the 19th of January, right? So a couple days ago, and we were seeing this pullback, right? A pretty standard kind of ABC was forming here. So we had our A wave down, we had our B wave up, and then we were looking for, you know, some kind of low point here for a C wave. And yeah, we measured that out on the previous video. We went, you know, what is that most typical kind of move here, you know, for Cardano, and we were kind of in that range, right, in that area here between, you know, these 2 points of 126 and 133. We thought, you know, somewhere in this area is going to be the most probable area for us to kind of find support, specifically around the 130. But actually what we saw here was a pullback down, going past the 126 and past 127, 125.7, effectively going impulsive at this point. So this C wave actually is not a C wave at all. It's actually a third wave, right? So now we can measure this impulsively. We have wave 1, we have wave 2, wave 3 down here, wave 4, and we are waiting for a fifth wave still to be completed. Now we can, of course, now we know this, give ourselves a bit of a target for that fifth wave, right? What do we think is likely to happen here? Now the fourth wave here is actually really short, and that means that this fifth wave is most likely to be short as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically throw a Fibonacci retracement tool on that fourth wave, and you can already see that we went down to the 1.618. This is the most probable area that we are going to find for that fifth wave, which means that now we're looking at some form of corrective action, or some kind of short-term move in the opposite direction, and you can kind of see that happening here already. Okay, so if we actually quickly remove that, this will be our fifth wave, our endpoint here. We could also acknowledge that it might just go down a little bit lower. It might be the 2.618, so we'll just mark that up quickly as well. Let me just bring back the fib there for a second. That would actually be 112.8. That's also a possibility. I'm just going to quickly just mark that up there, and then what I'll do is I'll remove the fib so we get an idea, right? So it's very possible that that becomes our fifth wave, and the reason I say this is, although we're getting that reversal now to the upside, this could be very short-lived, right? We could find ourselves with a high wick here and a low wick there and a high wick again, a very small ABC move. It's really not very noticeable on the hourly chart, and then you might actually see ourselves pulling back down deeper. Okay, and the reason for this is that actually what you find, if I actually just quickly remove all of these, this whole fifth wave in itself might actually be an A wave down, a B wave up, and a C wave down later. Okay, and if we actually measure that distance there from the bottom, I actually use the fib tool, from the bottom of our fifth wave that we've currently got marked up to the top of our fourth wave there, put that onto the high point that we've already achieved, you can kind of see that this this most probable area starts to kind of form out, right? We can see here that that would potentially be just up here about 114.2, so a little bit higher than our 1.12.8, right? At $1.12.8. Now that particular area is, you know, something that I think is highly probable. I do think that we are likely to see this kind of action. Now obviously with impulsive moves like this, we would actually normally see 5 waves, right? And you'd see 5 waves in each of the major moves. So we want to check that, and then we want to come back down to that lower point in a second. So here we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Okay, we can see there's 5 waves there. Then this would be followed by 3 waves. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll be looking for potentially 5 waves to the downside here. This is really tight, but potentially 5 waves right in there. Lots of different ways you could kind of draw that up. You could either draw it down a little bit lower, or we could leave it up in here. But it definitely looks like there's 5 waves in there, which means that we are potentially on the horizon here looking at 5 waves. Now, obviously, we need to make sure that those waves don't overlap, which they haven't done so far. This pullback here could be wave 1 into wave 2, looking for you know, that real big wave 3 down. But it's too soon to really say for sure. And obviously, if we are targeting down here in terms of $1.12, then you know, this could be that we are looking at wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 in here. This being wave 4, no, that would cross, so that can't work either. So then we are left with a wave 1, wave 2, looking for wave 3. I think that's going to be really tight to see how that one plays out. So we'll leave it open for now. It could go impulsive down here and taking us down into these lower ranges, potentially, you know, to that $1 major support line. And again, we have got this $1.12 area, and there's a reason that this is a really key point for us, and I'll get into that in a moment. But we can see here, you know, the potential downside. Okay, so we are expecting more downside here for ADA, specifically since we've already had 5, 3, 5, 3. And then we should be looking for now a move for 5 waves down here on our 5th wave, our final leg down. Okay, so for Cardano, to be honest with you, depending on how long term you are, for me, I haven't sold any ADA. I'm not buying any right now. But if it gets down to these kind of levels of $1.12, then you know, I think this is going to be a really good entry point for long term holding and dollar cost averaging. If you've got a higher purchasing price, you're going to be able to dollar cost average your purchase price down a bit, which would be a possibility and an option for you. But I do think longer term, and so one I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what's going on with our daily chart, because what we've actually got kind of here on this end of a journey is potentially a big A wave up, a B wave coming down, and then a pushing further up with a C wave. Right now, with this, what we want to do is we want to kind of take a look at our current position. And I want to see, you know, what's kind of going on here. How much of a deep correction are we actually having? Is it, you know, too deep? Is it, you know, right where you would expect it to be? And right now we've actually come down to the 786. You can see that right there. Now going down lower basically puts us, you know, just a little bit over the 786 move, and this is a really strong support line down here. So you know, I don't want to see Cardano come this in this low, but I do think it's very possible. The invalidation point for this, guys, which would be something that you're going to want to know about and kind of manage those expectations, comes in at $1.07. We don't want to go down lower than $1.07, but if it does, then you know, then this whole wave count needs to be, you know, removed, and we need to focus in on something different. But for now, this actually looks like one big A wave up, a B wave coming down, potentially going into a C wave higher later. Okay, again, that stochastic RSI on our daily is lowering down. Okay, and this gives us perfect opportunity to come back up and come up into that nice area at the top there. So good progress is being made in terms of correcting that stochastic RSI on our daily, but we are still quite high on that stock RSI on our hourly chart, so we are indicating that we want to be coming back down at some point, and we are looking for some kind of wave count to appear down in that last leg. Now we don't know what that looks like just yet. It could be ABC, but it's most probably going to turn into a 1 through 5. We just need to figure out how it's going to do that. It's not very clear just yet. Now the weekly chart, this is where we're waiting for that birth of a new overall trend, right? We haven't seen it yet. We've seen this ABC down here, but we haven't really seen any kind of definitive kind of trend in either direction, right? We know that this kind of came into a bottom. Again, this was that $1.07. Okay, that's that area there. If I actually hover above this candle, it's $1.06.9. Okay, so we know that that's kind of where that ABC finished and corrected, and what we're looking for here is, you know, that new trend to kind of bit set and to go up. Now again, with this, we obviously have invalidation points, right? We want to know, you know, that we are definitely going up, right? And this could be impulsive down. You know, it hasn't actually invalidated that just yet. We are looking to cross this wick low here. This actually comes in at $1.80.4, right? So when we push up, that's the invalidation point that basically tells us that it's not impulsive going down, but we haven't actually ticked that one off yet. So for Cardano, it's every possibility of going down even lower, maybe even to 80 cent, 90 cent, whatever, right? Some of these really low areas that we haven't seen for a very long time. It's very possible. I don't think it's probable, but it's very possible, okay? I do think that we're looking for a reversal at this point, and we're really fighting it, and we're trying to push through. Now, obviously, as things start to launch on the ecosystem, we start to see more utility for ADA, we are going to potentially start to see this trend form out, but it's just not there yet. Okay, so what we're left with is definitively looking at, okay, well, we've got this potential ABC move on our day chart. Moving up, and we have the invalidation point at $1.71. Okay, so we'll know that if it goes down lower than that, we have to recount our waves and we have to reanalyze what's going on in the market, but it's looking pretty strong so far with a good healthy correction. Our hourly chart looks like it has to have 5 waves at the end here, which means we are looking for a deeper correction, but above $1.07 preferably. Again, that comes in below our support lines here, and again, you know, that'll be the last little leg here, the B wave low, that will then take us into potentially a new all-time high, because that is kind of what we're looking at here in terms of the ABC. So things are looking pretty interesting for Cardano, but again, you know, too soon to be 100% on it, but from the wave counts that we have here, we are looking to kind of come down a little bit lower, looking to find a good entry point, and we are looking for confirmation that we don't go down lower than $1.07, and obviously start that reversal and that journey back to the upside. Again, the top end of that A wave was $1.63, and we're looking for continuation of breaking out of there and moving further up with that move. Now, obviously, in terms of all-time highs, I do think in 2021 we are likely, also 2022, I think we are likely to see a higher high, a new all-time high, but we just aren't there just yet. We basically need to see a few things happen on our weekly chart first. But overall, I'm pretty confident in Cardano, which is why we've chosen Cardano to launch our NFT project, including all the stuff that's going on in the metaverse, because Cardano it seems to be the most stable, secure platform. Although some of the use cases and utility might not be there right now, in the future it definitely will be. And I do think that Cardano is the platform that many new businesses are going to choose over some of the existing legacy systems as well. So something to keep in your mind, guys. You know, there was a time when you know, Amazon or BlackBerry, Nokia, Apple, for example, they weren't desirable, you know, companies, projects, until, you know, they actually build something, deliver something, and so forth. And the earlier you can identify that value and get into it and then hold it for long term, that generally means that you're going to be in a very, very good position in the future. And that's really where I see Cardano. Although, you know, BlackBerry, Nokia, they didn't innovate, they didn't keep up, and they had the first mover advantage in the market, you know, failure to keep up with the times basically left them behind, and you can see where they are today. Whereas people like Amazon and Apple, although, you know, were slow to potentially get going and not a lot of people believed in them at the time, they are where they are now, right? And you can kind of see, you know, and you know, it's hard to think that it doesn't have value today. Whereas, you know, think back, you know, 15, 20 years, you know, things were very, very different, I think, for people like Apple, right? You know, they weren't necessarily respected in the same way that they are today. And you kind of find the same kind of scenario here for Cardano in the crypto space. And it's definitely worth kind of really thinking about how you assign value and how you ascertain whether something is going to be valuable in the future. But for me, I do think Cardano is definitely something that you want to be, you know, really researching, cutting through all the nonsense and the FUD, and you know, some of these prices today for ADA definitely seems very, very interesting. And you know, I might be back in the market in accumulating more Cardano if these prices come down into these real low ranges once again. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. Hopefully you have found this useful and informative, kind of give you a bit of an idea as to where I think these low points are for Cardano. Now we've gone impulsive down. If you have found it useful, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with all the videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.